robo las miradas siempre al pasar, quemando llantitas por el bulevar. Recuerdo en Nogales lo que nos pasó.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are all doing wonderful out there. Me, just another day. But we're finally going to get started on the crew cab. We're finally going to start working on the disc brake conversion. I know we kind of been putting that aside. So we're finally going to get started on it. So you guys can see, I do got it on jack stands already. Ready to go. And pretty much just going to be going over it, what tools you're going to need. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In my case, I'm going to take everything apart, clean off the brake calipers, and then paint over them, because obviously I want to make it look nice. That's the whole point. You know, might as well. They're out. Might as well do what we can to them. And what else? I don't know. I might break this video down in a couple different parts, because I don't know if, I guess I can make it fit all in one video, but it's probably gonna be too long. So I'm probably just gonna break down a couple different parts, maybe 2 parts. I don't know. It depends. Because like I said, I am going to take my time painting the brake calipers and painting all little things, since everything's out here. But let's get started on this, and I'll walk you guys through it. Alright, so before we get started on this, excuse the background, it's a mess. I had an oil spill. I did have to pick that up, but we're not worried about that right now. So that one's already kind of taken apart. Brake caliper over there, but this one right here, this one's gonna be a 13. You got 2 of those, obviously, one there, one here, and then the one that holds the actual bracket is this one right here. I believe that's an 18. You got 2 of those as well, right there. And we're gonna be taking our brake line off as well. I mean, pretty much we're gonna be stripping this whole thing down. You got this little chingadera right here. Probably pry it up with a flathead screwdriver or something. Or, yeah. You guys get the point. I mean, if you guys are going to be doing this yourself, you probably got a good idea of what you're going to be running into. So, let's get started on this and see where we end up. So ahí va la cosa. I guess we're like almost there. I got the brake caliper off, the bracket off, and it's almost, we're almost there. So, one thing I didn't mention to you guys was I'm not going to be using this e-brake cable. I'm actually getting rid of the e-brake because I'm getting ready to do the firewall tub. So when you do a firewall tub, you know, if you guys know how it works, you push your firewall back a little bit so that tire has extra room to turn a lot better without rubbing. So when you do that, you got to get rid of the e-brake. So I won't be keeping none of these e-brake cables. I can't use them. But if you guys are just looking to do a simple disc brake conversion on your truck, make sure you get them with the e-brake cables, like these right here. But anyways, getting ready to do that one over there. I probably won't record that one just because it's the same process. Like I said, I'm trying to make these videos short and hopefully not in too many parts. I probably won't be able to fit it on one video, but I'm gonna try my best to do so. So, like I said, I won't be recording that, but we're also gonna get ready to take apart this rear, what do you call it? This rear end apart right here at the center. Because we do got to pull off the axles right there. So we do have to pull them out in order to get to the other bolts. I'll show you that. We got a couple of bolts right there. I don't know if you guys can see. There's one. And then there's another one over there. So there's like 4 bolts holding that on. So we do need that as well for the disc brake conversion. So let me get to it and I'll show you guys in a bit what's going on. Alright, so this one's also done now. So I'm just going to go over real quick what I've done so far. So I've taken off the brake caliper. The bracket that holds on the brake caliper, obviously. You got those 2 right there. One of them's going to be 18 millimeter. It has 2 bolts. The other one's going to be 13. It has 2 bolts as well. And then for the rotor, it just kind of slides off. So that's pretty much all I've done. I know it may seem like a lot more just because, you know, it's kind of naked. But I promise you, that's all I've done. Also, now we're going to get ready to take apart that rear end. Take that plate off. Because we do have to take off these axles. They got to be able to slide all the way out. I don't know if I have enough room here. We can always turn the jack stands the other way though. But so now I'm going to get ready to start on that. And I believe they're 13 millimeter bolts holding on that plate. So let me get to it and we'll go from there. So hopefully this fits underneath, which it does. Nice. You want to make sure you put something underneath it just in case it still has oil. I believe this one still has all the oil in there. I don't think we drained it. So like I said, 13 millimeter, get it off. I'll leave the fat ones in there, just in case. So they won't come off loose. So I left the bottom ones, starting from the middle, still under, just enough to where the plate has a little bit of room to open up, because you don't want the whole plate coming down on you. So now, let's see. So now we just kind of try to open that part slowly. I was hoping there wouldn't be that much of a mess, but it is what it is. As long as it's not too much of a mess, I don't mind. So the reason, like I said, the reason I left these on there was because when you split it apart and you don't have no bolts holding that on no more, this whole plate's gonna fall off and then oil's just gonna spill everywhere. So this way, the bolts kind of help you out. You just have a little crack where the fluid's coming out. So there we go. That should be it. So now we can take everything off. Side. Let this thing drain out a little bit more. Alright, so now we gotta look for there's a pin right here, and we gotta look for a bolt that's holding on that pin, so it should be on the bottom. And in order to find it, all you have to do is just turn your yoke right here and spin it. So when you do that, you find it. So in my case, there it is. And it's an 8 millimeter. And you want to make sure your socket or whatever you're using is in good shape, because if it's all hollowed out, you might strip that, and if you strip that, you ain't gonna be able to get that off. So I think I got it. Yep, we got it. So if you're using an end wrench, I really wouldn't recommend it, just because you can strip it out. Like I said, I would use a socket. Make sure it's in good shape though. That's the bolt right there. So now that we got that, Now we got to push this pin out. Turn it. Oh, too far. Think we went too far in. Hopefully it slides back down. There we have it. That's all it is. I think it only goes in one way, comes out. Goes in one way and comes out one way as well. So, pretty much it. It should slide off fairly easy. So now, I believe we got to push the drive shaft in a little bit. Something like this. You see that? It's very minimal. Just push it in. Alright, so once you push your drive shaft in a little bit, I had to go to the store and buy this little magnet. Once you push that drive shaft, not drive shaft, the axle in, push it in, it gives you access to this, see if I can touch it first, so you can see, to this little C-clip right here. See how it moves? It's kind of hard for me to do it with one hand, but you'll see. So all you really need is a magnet. It's going to be hard to do with one hand. Alright, so we already got one of them out. Let me try to get the other one. And hopefully it goes a lot smoother than this last one. So I found it easier if you have like a flathead screwdriver or something flat. It'll help you out a little bit. There we go. So the trick is you want to try to get the, I don't know if you guys can see that right there, but so you want to try to get the magnet centered. Something like that. Oh, way off. So something like that. But so if you try to get it from right here, obviously you don't have it straight on, so it's not going to come out. So the trick is try to get it right in the center, and that thing will just slide right off. So these are the only things holding on the axles. And once you get those out, we can pull the axles off and move on to the next step. Alright, so now we're going to attempt to take off the axles. Hopefully we don't run out of real estate here, but let's see what happens. So once you got those C-clips off, oh yeah, just like that. That simple. I guess the hardest part is going to be taking out those C-clips. Like I said, you got to get them right dead on center. Don't forget to push in your drive shaft. I keep on saying drive shaft. It's axle. Push in your axle and it should just come off. Ready. Just like that. Alright, so now we're on to this part. Once we got the drive, I keep on saying drive shaft. Once you got the axle out, if you guys are reusing your existing rear end, make sure you pull out the axle nice and gently. You don't want to mess up the seal. I mean, you might as well replace it if you're, doing this. But if you don't want to replace it, just make sure you take it out very carefully. You don't want to mess up the seal, like I said. In my case, I'm not using this rear end, so I just pulled them out, however. But now, we got to take out this piece right here. So it's holded on by 4 bolts, 18 mil. I already kind of broke them loose because they were pretty tight. So once you break them loose, you just take it off. You just take them off, and we'll go and see what's next step from there. But I'll run my impact real quick.
there we have it. That's pretty much it, really. I thought there was gonna be more to it. So once you loosen those 4 bolts up, you're left with this. So, like I said, in my case, I'm not gonna be using the e-brake anymore. So I'm not even gonna bother reinstall this e-brake cable. So I'm probably gonna take it off right now. First I gotta figure out how. Whoa. I guess that's it. So, yeah, not too bad, if you ask me. Something like that. So, for the other sides would be the same thing. You got 4 bolts. And, yeah, so let me get the other side done. And we'll figure out what's the next step. Alright, so that's going to be it. As this assembling goes. It's pretty simple, like I said. A couple of bolts here and there. And like I said, the hardest part was taking apart those axles. You got to get the C-clips just right, and they come right off. And I mean, I guess that was the hardest part, like I said, to me anyways. But I'm not going to show you guys when I disassemble this one, the actual truck, just because it's going to be the same process. I wanted to show you guys on this one since it's out here. It's easier to show you guys. It's you can see a lot more rather than being under the truck and having a tight spot, or being in a tight spot trying to record. So I'm not going to record me taking apart the truck, but I will be showing you guys when I start putting it back together. So I guess this is going to be the first part to the video, or the process of the disc brake conversion, just because I don't want to make the video super long for you guys. So like this, you guys have part 1, part 2. So next video, we're going to be putting it back together on this truck, and hopefully it works out for us. Cross our fingers. And yeah, I guess it's just the cheapest way to go with disc brakes. Buy yourself a rear end that's shot and take the parts from it. So hopefully it works out like I said. And yeah, any questions you guys have, drop them down below, and I'll try to help you guys with the best I can. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Catch you guys on the next one.
Robo las miradas siempre al pasar, quemando llantitas por el bulevar. Recuerdo en Nogales lo que nos pasó.